first drew me to Copenhagen is the language of the piece. It's written by Michael Frayn, who I first knew through Noises Off, which is a broad British farce that was, I thought, one of the best comedies I've ever seen. And when I picked up the script at Copenhagen, within the first 4 lines, he had me hooked, without knowing anything about what the piece was about. So the first thing that attracted me was the language. It's brilliant language. And then as you read it, you see how it's a wonderful examination of 2 things. One is whose perception of truth is correct, and how you tell a story from 3 different viewpoints as to what occurred in a single moment in time varies from person to person, and in the end there is tremendous uncertainty as to what the reality is. You know that somewhere in this mass there's truth, but you don't know what the truth is. So it's an examination of truth and how we each look at it. But more importantly, it also speaks to the responsibility that science has in the contemporary world, and where a scientist's morality and his desire to further his science, where they meet and where that line is drawn and how they come to terms with that. The question of creating a nuclear bomb during World War II is presented in such a way that the people that were involved in developing it have to confront the horrors of what they did and weigh that against the horrors of what could have been if it was not done.
Through these characters, you really get to see the inside story of how all of this was happening at the time. And my character in particular, Margaret, she's kind of a multi-dimensional character, because she acts as sort of the chorus, for instance, in a Greek tragedy. She sort of translates this very high-level physicist speak into something that the audience can actually understand. She also acts as somewhat of a referee between Heisenberg and Bohr's, and tries to control some of their jealousies and some negative feelings, and basically she encourages them to sort of focus on the science in this play. So it's really, she's an interesting character, and it's very interesting that the way the author uses her in this play.
It's a beautiful play, and I think it's a very important play, particularly at this time in the world, because it addresses some of the moral and ethical issues that scientists are faced with. In the years leading up to World War II, nuclear research was being done, particularly in Copenhagen. Niels Bohr was one of the premier physicists of the time, and people from all over the world came to his institute to study physics under Bohr. And one of them was his German compatriot, who ended up as the enemy. And they come together in this play, with Bohr's wife kind of being the sounding board, and asking some very difficult questions. What did we do, and why did we do it? And and what's next?